So, 5 key metrics that you must follow to help you do research and give you a bit of a clarity on what the market is doing. So, firstly, this is SQM, free website, doesn't cost anything. So, for all the people that are looking for free resources, this is one of them. So, first thing we're going to start off with is total listings, property listings. Okay, now let's just take this on to houses and units. As you can see, I've got houses and then there's units. Probably won't use this address. I might use that postcode. I might use Ipswich. Okay. Now, what you want to see is you want to make sure if you're looking at houses, you want to be looking at houses. If you're looking at units, you want to be looking at units. Let's just use houses. You want your property listing, sales listings to be trending down. Okay, as you can see, it's trending down. There is demand here. It went up a little bit during the Christmas period, and then it's gone back down. Okay, so this is one indication of that. As you can see here, your property listings are trending down. It gives you an understanding of supply versus demand. As you can see, during this time, during 2011 to 2022, the property market in Ipswich was just trending kind of sideways, okay, and then it kind of after like 2020, it's when it really started to take off. 2020, 2019 was a good time to get in. So as you can see, it's been trending down, okay, and that's a good sign. Now this is one metric, and you want to measure this with another metric, which is going to be your vacancy rates. So as you can see here, vacancy rates during that 2019 has been trending down. So as you can see, there's a correlation here of sales listings and your vacancy rates trending down, which is a good sign for this property market here. Now, there is 3 of these metrics that follow each other, and that gives you a good indication of what's going on. Of course, all 5, you want to compare them with each other, but these 3 are very important. So the next one after this is going to be days on market. So let's go on to days on market. So here's one of our articles. Now, I'll show you days on market, what this kind of looks like. So your days on market, as you can see, it's been trending down, okay? And that's a good sign. You see a nice steady reduce in days on market, and as you can see, 16 days on market. So when I compare days on market, and this is probably a better document to show you, when you look at days on market, I might just zoom in for you. When you look at days on market, it's trending down, okay? Property prices are going up. Not just that, when I compare that to, once again, to sales listings, which is property listings, as you can see, it's been trending down of houses, which is good signs here. And then, as you can see here, vacancy rate's been trending down. Now, these 3 here, when you start to see a little bit of a correlation of difference, is when you start to see days on market still trending down, but your sales listing can start to trend up. Now, when that starts to trend up, that can be if you're purchasing in a new estate, and that can be there's a supply of property coming to the market, and that can affect your vacancy rates and your days on market. But because it's a lagging indicator, it won't happen right away. It's going to show you it's going to be lagging. So just keep that in mind, okay? But nothing to worry about. Now, even in established areas, sometimes if the market starts to slow down, more properties will be put onto the market, and of course, if the days on market will start to increase as well, and that means that properties are going to stay on the market for longer. So these are 3 metrics that you do want to follow. Another key vital part of what you want to follow is what is the building approvals in this area, okay? Building approvals are very important, okay? So now this is for the whole LGA of Ipswich, okay, in Queensland. As you can see here, there was 2,000 properties approved for last year. This year's only 987, okay? Now, you can get this data to the suburb T, and that's ABS data that can go in there and you can try and find for the actual suburb, because Ipswich is very big, and of course there is some new estates there, and that's where you see these 2,000 properties getting built. Of course, doesn't mean they're coming into Goodna, because Goodna doesn't have it, it's not a new estate. Okay, so sometimes it can be a bit misleading, but you just got to make sure you do the right research and find that in ABS data. And so once again, as you can see, there's not an oversupply of building approvals, and they're going to affect the market here, in this market here, which is a really good sign, and that means there's an undersupply of property as well. Now, another important thing, which is your last one, which I like to look at, and these are macro measurements. They're not micro. And what I mean by micro, you're looking at bird's eye view. You're looking at the suburb, why you should invest there, what's going on from an infrastructure perspective, jobs, the economy, import, export goods. This is more when you find that location, how to look at the property metrics. Another important one is, let's have a look at let's have a look at your income levels. Now, you don't want 30% of the household income to get contributed to your mortgage repayments. Okay, why? Because you're going to have rent fatigue, okay, which is very important, which you don't want. So how do you work this out? So monthly household mortgage repayments is $1,300 a month. So you times that by 12, and then your household income, weekly income, is $1,300, and you times that by 52. And as you can see here, once I do those calculations, it's only 22% of the household income is getting contributed to mortgage repayment. So once you, of course, you've got the total figures for the monthly and weekly, annually figures for those two metrics, you divide them by each other, and then you just do times 100, and that will give you the ratio. So it's 22%. So which is very strong. So you don't want it over 30%, because that means when you start to get rent plateau. And as you can see, if I scroll down on this document, as we can see here, rents it's had a 13% increase on rent, which is very strong. Keep in mind, the rental increase average in Australia is around 4%. So anywhere from 3 to 4%. So you look at that, you're destroying from a rental perspective. The rents have just been increasing. I wouldn't be too worried about this up and down movement here, because you get that. But as you can see, very good signs. You're not going to get rent fatigue, and it just shows, from a stability point of view. Now, can that change? Can the incomes increase in those levels? Yes, it can. Areas can gentrify. As we all know, there was always those doom and gloom suburbs, or those really stingy suburbs, or those those low demographic of suburbs, and then they changed. And what happens is the ripple effect happens. Of course, properties close to the mainland, or the more the affluent areas get too expensive, and the ripple effect follows, and what happens is it expands, and of course the demographic of people start to change, and of course the people that can't afford properties and get pushed out, and that does happen. But anyway, this is something to keep your eye on, and those metrics will help. It will sift out a lot of the good areas and bad areas, and hopefully that gives you a bit of clarity about how to use these economic drivers.